up and you'll be able to see a really beautiful view right behind me, and you'll see that red tower there that we started the conversation at. There was a case that popped up in Qingdao. 12 cases, locally contracted, so it's a big worry. They don't really know exactly where it came from. So what does Qingdao do? They test 9 million of the Qingdao residents. This country is going, well, I don't want to say they're going above and beyond. They're doing what has to be done. And other countries who might be suffering this are suffering it sort of needlessly out of their own mismanagement. You might say, wow, testing 9 million people because of 12 cases, that's a bit extreme. Well, it has to be extreme if you want to contain a pandemic, you know? The small price, well, it's not a small price. Testing 9 million people is not an easy feat. It's not something that you do lightly. But if you test 9 million people, then the country can benefit from having a robust system that allows you to walk around a park without a mask. People in China are so proud of the systems and the efforts and the fact that everybody can be free and not wear masks and go to school face to face and go to their jobs and go to the water park and go to a library and go and work in a factory and do all of those normal things that people in the Western world right now, or a few countries in the Western world, cannot. Like, it's funny, you used to take for granted living a normal life. Well, in China you do live a normal life. We simply just can't fraternize with other countries because other countries are not doing it as well as it is in China. So it's kind of a frustrating situation if you like to travel like I do. But small price to pay in order to kick this virus's ass. The national pride would be, we got a case, let's get it down, let's contact trace everybody that's ever been in contact with this guy. I mean, listen, I mean, let's contact trace anybody that's been in contact. 12 people in Qingdao, a city of 9 million, came into the hospital with COVID, and they're testing the entire city. The only way that you can manage a situation like this in a good, organized manner is to be honest with the populace and to robustly test and to have a populace that trusts the government enough to wear their masks and understand that when they need to buckle down, they need to. Listen, I would not be walking out here without a mask, feeling so comfortable if there was 12 cases in Ningbo. Ningbo is a city of about 9 million people. If there was a case, the whole situation here would change. So, does China have the COVID situation under control? Hell yeah. Could it change tomorrow? Hell yeah. But the situation is such in China that all you need to do is flip the switches that are already in place. All the switches are in place. The systems are in place, and the populace around is informed and ready to go in case it comes back. And so, you know, everybody's ready to go and everybody's on board. I also think that there's this is a future vlog, but I think that there's a big difference between China and or even Asia. There's a big difference between Asia, the East and the West, in the fact that people in the West are buying into conspiracy theories so easily. I mean, it's okay to like think about conspiracy theories, and I guess, you know, even people in China buy into some conspiracy theories, but they don't let it invalidate common sense. When most doctors and epidemiologists say this is a pandemic, we need to get serious, all the countries that took it serious and listened to the doctors fared better. And it seemed like in the West, there was mass conspiracies, there was the fact that the virus is a hoax, you know, propagated in a large percentage by the people at the top. you know, what does that do for the confidence and reliability of your message? It's really tough. I had a bunch of people in my comment section that argue vehemently that not enough people are dying to make it a big deal, which to me sounds heartless. Or, you know, Fauci said we didn't need to wear a mask, so I'm not going to wear a mask. Well, Fauci also reneged on that and said, you probably wear a mask. Masks are the most important, CDC. So you strategically pick the no mask, and you believe the no mask recommendation, but if they change that and adapt, you don't believe that. So you either believe, it's like selective belief. Chinese, you got to give it to them. When they're told to do something, they do it. And they have been able to contain this virus to an extent that it is admirable. They worked their asses off for 2 months, more than 2 months, to make sure that all of the I's were dotted, all of the T's were crossed. They sacrificed. They were frustrated. They were angry. They were bummed that their businesses were shut down. But they stuck to it and unified for an amount of time that allowed for the virus to be squashed domestically. And then all they had to do was have a robust contact tracing system that would make sure that if anything did come in, that they would be able to squash it. You know, like Brazil or some other countries, even America, I think there's situations where people are worried about healthcare costs, so they're not even going in if they have some sort of a COVID problem. You're never going to contain the virus, and you're never going to be able to live this sort of normal life if you're constantly up against a situation where the virus is propagating sort of out of control. It's a really